Hello, everyone. This is Jerome Waddle. When I was researching and preparing my presentation on the history and meaning of Valentine's Day, now published on this channel, I came across a poem by T.S. Eliot, published in 1915, called The Love Song of J. Alfred Prufrock. The first time I read it, I thought this was a really sad story about a depressed, sad old man reflecting upon the failures of his life and how his fears held him back from stepping out and fully participating in and exploring what life has to offer. What was T.S. Eliot thinking when he labeled it as a love song? Was it irony or what? Then I thought, this is a profound poem because Prufrock's story is a gift of love to us today, in that it describes what happens to some people when they don't become self-aware of their workings of their own psyche. According to Jung, that leads to an unlived life, which he described many times in his writings. Eliot's poem describes and portrays Jung descriptions of the ego persona, the shadow, and the true self, and the battleground that goes on between them unconsciously if you do not become aware of them. Sadly, Prufrock becomes aware of them, but alas, perhaps too late for him. But his story alerts us to pay attention to our own psyche before it's too late. So in a sense, it is a love song to us all. It is amazing that Eliot published this poem in 1915, when Jung was only beginning to come to his realizations in 1914, when he started having his visions recorded in his journal called the Black Books that formed the basis for his psychology. When I read the poem, I have a graphic that illustrates the faces of the persona, shadow, and self, and you can perhaps guess who the faces are that Prufrock is describing about himself. A hint is when he says you and I, he is talking to various aspects of himself. As a review, Jung's terminology, the persona is your mask or your outward face that you present to the world. Your shadow is the dark, unconscious internal face, and the self with a capital S is your true, authentic self. The poem, The Love Song of J. Alfred Prufrock, begins with an epigraph, a quote that sets the tone for the poem to follow. This epigraph, included in the poem in the original Italian, is from Dante's Divine Comedy, the eighth circle of hell, with evil or false counselors depicted by an eternal flickering flame. If I believed that my answer would be to someone who would ever return to earth, this flame would move no more. But because no one has ever returned alive from this gulf, if what I hear is true, I can reply with no fear of infamy. Let us go then, you and I, when the evening is spread out against the sky, like a patient etherized upon a table. Let us go through certain half-deserted streets, the muttering retreats of restless nights in one-night cheap hotels and sawdust restaurants with oyster shells, streets that follow like a tedious argument of insidious intent to lead you to an overwhelming question. Oh, do not ask, what is it? Let us go and make our visit. In the room, the women come and go, talking of Michelangelo. The yellow fog that rubs its back upon the window panes, the yellow smoke that rubs its muzzle on the window panes, licked its tongue into the corners of the evening, lingered upon the pools that stand in drains, let fall upon its back the soot that falls from chimneys, slipped by the terrace, made a sudden leap, and seeing that it was soft October night, curled once about the house and fell asleep. And indeed there will be a time for the yellow smoke that slides along the street, rubbing its back upon the window panes. There will be time, there will be time to prepare a face to meet the faces that you meet. There will be time to murder and create, and time for all the works and days of hands that lift and drop a question on your plate. Time for you and time for me, and time yet for 100 indecisions, and for 100 visions and revisions before taking of a toast and tea. In the room, the women come and go, talking of Michelangelo. And indeed, there will be a time to wonder, do I dare? And do I dare? Time to turn back and descend the stair. With a bald spot in the middle of my hair, they will say, his hair is growing thin. My morning coat, my collar, mounting firmly to the chin, my necktie rich and modest, but asserted by a simple pin. They will say, but how his arms and legs are thin. Do I dare disturb the universe? In a minute, there is time for decisions and revisions, which a minute will reverse. For I have known them all already, known them all, have known the evenings, mornings, afternoons. I have measured out my life with coffee spoons. I know the voices dying with a dying fall beneath the music from a farther room. So how should I presume? And I have known the eyes already, knowing them all, the eyes that fix you in a formulated phrase. And when I am formulated, sprawling on a pin, when I am pinned and wriggling on the wall, then how should I begin to spit out all the but ends of my days and ways? And how should I presume? And I have known the arms already, known them all, arms that are braceleted in white and bare, but in the lamplight downed with light brown hair. Is it perfume from a dress that makes me so digress? Arms that lie along a table or wrap about a shawl. And should I then presume? And how should I begin? Shall I say I have gone at dusk through narrow streets and watched the smoke that rises from the pipes of lonely men in shirt sleeves leaning out of windows? I should have been a pair of ragged claws scuttling across the floors of silent seas. And the afternoon, the evening, sleeps so peacefully, soothed by long fingers, asleep, tired, or it malingers, stretched on the floor here beside you and me. Should I, after tea and cakes and ices, have the strength to force the moment to its crisis? But though I have wept and fasted, wept and prayed, though I have seen my head grow slightly bald, brought in upon a platter, I am no prophet, and here's no great matter. I have seen the moment of my greatest flicker, and I have seen the eternal footman hold my coat and snicker. And in short, I was afraid. And it would have been worth it after all, after the cups, the marmalade, the tea, Among the porcelain, among some talk of you and me, would it have been worthwhile to have bitten off the matter with a smile? To have squeezed the universe into a ball, to roll it towards some overwhelming question, to say, I am Lazarus, come from the dead, come back to tell you all. I shall tell you all. If one, settling a pillow by her head, should say, this is not what I meant at all. This is not it at all. And would it have been worth it after all? Would it have been worthwhile? After the sunsets and the dooryards and the sprinkled streets, after the novels, after the teacups, after the skirts that trail along the floor, and this and so much more? It is impossible to say just what I mean, but as if a magic lantern threw the nerves and patterns on a screen, would it have been worthwhile if one, settling a pillow or throwing off a shawl and turning toward the window, should say, this is not it at all. This is not what I meant at all. No, I am not Prince Hamlet, or was meant to be. Am an attendant lord. One that will do to swell a progress, start a scene or two. Advise the prince, no doubt. An easy tool. Deferential, glad to be of use. Politic, cautious and meticulous. Full of high sentence, but a bit obtruse. At times, indeed, most ridiculous. Almost at times, the fool. I grow old, I grow old. I shall wear the bottoms of my trousers rolled. Shall I part my hair behind? Do I dare eat a peach? I shall wear white flannel trousers and walk upon the beach. I have heard the mermaids singing, each to each. I do not think they will sing to me. I have seen them riding seaward on the waves, combing the white hair of the waves blown back. When the wind blows the water white and black, we have lingered in the chambers of the sea by sea girls wreathed with seaweed red and brown, till human voices wake us and we drown. Thanks for listening, and I hope that this presentation serves to understand the critical importance of becoming more self-aware and to learn more about Jung's psychology. I would appreciate any comments that you may have about this video, and thank you.